Welcome back, Ghostlings, to my weekly vlog. Today's question of the week is, do you have any nicknames? Now, personally speaking, I have two nicknames. Nickname one is Meaty. That's what my ex-girlfriend, or current girlfriend, wherever she is, girlfriend, used to call me, and Disappointment, which is what my mom calls me. Welcome, Ghostlings, to your weekly Reddit ghost story. This one comes from Patient Report 4400. They say a sad ghost story will be the judge of that ghost links. They begin by saying, "This happened to me when I was 9 years old back in 2009. Ghostlings, 2,000-year-old babies now will be 26 this year. Doesn't that make some of you feel old? I invited my school friends over for a sleepover. We had a great time, ate pizza, played a bunch of games on the PS2. Oh, the PS2. What is that? I made a mess of my living room. The typical stuff kids do at sleepover. Goldflings, I've never been on a sleepover. No one's ever invited me. Anyway, once the party was over, we all went to my room where we put up 4 mattresses next to my bed and my brother's bed. We chatted for a few minutes. One by one, we all fell asleep. In the end, I was last awake. To kill time, I read a Batman comic by the dim light of my desk lamp. Once I finished reading, I turned off the light. That's when I saw the shadowy figure of an adult man crouching down in front of me. I could see the shadow on the wall, and at first I thought it might be a figure created by the dampness in the house. What does that mean, Gosling? I saw it extend its arm toward where one of my friends, Nico, was sleeping. You should change the people's names. Maybe Nico doesn't want the story on the internet. I wanted to run away, but I felt that if I moved, the shadow would come toward me. So I stayed still, and I could see the arm seemed to be caressing Nico. And then, in the same position, the shadow vanished as if it had been slowly imploded. I lay awake for hours thinking that maybe if I fell asleep or tried to leave the room, the shadow would attack me. In the end, probably after my body stopped producing adrenaline, my body had already been defeated by my tiredness. I fell asleep. That was a very interesting way to write that. The next morning, my friends woke me up since my mom had made breakfast for everyone. When I woke up, I stared at the wall, where there wasn't a single damp stain. When I came downstairs from my room, I asked my parents if they had come up to my room to check if we were sleeping, and they said no. I told them what happened, but they looked at me like I was making it up. Parents always think you're crazy, Golflings. You gotta trust me, the medium. My hair is insane right now. What is happening? I remember that morning very well. We were in the dining room playing the first Lego Star Wars while drinking milk chocolate. Wouldn't it be chocolate milk? And eating cereal. We were on the pod racing level, which, in case you also played this game, you know it was way too difficult for a Lego game at that time. I think we're losing the plot a little, sir. We were basically taking turns to control it to beat it. I had told my friends what happened, especially Nico. I would not recommend that, Ghostface. First hire a medium like myself to explain to Nico what really happened. Telling your friend a scary story about when they slept. Not always a good idea. He told me that he felt something brush against him that night, but that he went back to sleep. At that moment, my mom told Nico that he had to leave early because his mom was about to arrive to pick him up. I asked my mom why Nico had to leave so early, and she said she would tell me later. After Nico left, and later my classmates left, I asked my mom again what had happened. She told me that Nico's grandfather had passed away last night. The next night, nothing ever happened in my room anymore. I was alert in case the shadow would appear again, but it didn't. Those days, I spent a lot of time thinking about what happened, and as the years passed, I kept hanging out with Nico and the rest of my friends. I realized that what happened that night, although it was a terrifying moment for a 9-year-old kid, it was also a touching moment, no pun intended. Perhaps what I sensed that night was made by my imagination, or something in the room making shadows, or maybe it was a sad final goodbye from a grandfather to his grandson. Yes, Goldsrings, I have to agree with this Redditor's perspective that this, in fact, was the shadow spirit of his grandfather saying goodbye to his beloved grandson, Nico. These nice spirits have a final chance to say goodbye, and they are trapped on this earth with evil or malicious or traumatic intentions. Now, I wouldn't have a job if every ghost was like this, so it's nice to see stories like this, Ghost Rings. aren't evil. It's just a nice farewell. What do you think, Goldstrings? Do you think Nico's grandfather was saying a final goodbye to him, or do you think it was something malicious? Remember, Goldstrings, if you have your own ghost story, comment them down below and I'll include them in the video instead of these Reddit stories. Farewell, Goldstrings. I'll see you next week.